Hollywood looks like it's in a tough spot, and content creation is growing fast. I don't think one is more important than the other, but the numbers from the last year made it obvious why people are rethinking what success looks like. I never wanted to be a filmmaker. I'm already doing my dream job, but I've always respected the work that filmmakers do, and seeing how much things have changed made me want to talk about where everything seems to be heading. When I reached out to the people I know who work in film, whether it's camera crews, editors, or rental houses, they all seem to be describing the same pattern. Work is slowing down. Budgets are looking smaller, and the jobs that used to be reliable just aren't showing up as often. This is what the people in that world are saying about their own situation. And the more I looked into it, the more it seemed like this is not just a slow patch, there's a bigger shift happening. A lot of people in that space seem to be asking the same question: is the dream of being a professional filmmaker changing? I don't think the dream itself is gone. It still seems to be there, but the version of that industry that supported so many careers for so long does not seem to be in the same place. The middle ground, not the blockbusters, not the small social content, but everything in between, looks like it has taken the biggest hit. Most of what I read pointed to who is funding the videos now. Years ago, studios and TV networks were the ones paying for most of the work. Now the biggest buyers appear to be the tech companies like Netflix and Amazon and Apple. These companies rely heavily on data and trends, and if a certain category performs well, they seem to order more of that. That creates a cycle where familiar ideas get repeated and new ones seem to get fewer chances. When companies pull back on budgets, which is what the numbers make it look like they have been doing, they do not spend the money the way they used to. They are focusing only on what is already working. On top of that, the streaming boom, where platforms spent huge amounts of money just to attract subscriber numbers, seems to have cooled off. It looks like they have scaled back. They appear to be more cautious, and the first part of the industry feeling the shift looks like the work in the middle. Everything I have been reading suggests that the middle ground used to be where a lot of the steady work lived. Things like mid-sized commercials, cable series, and brand films with reasonable crews and reasonable budgets. You didn't have to be a star, you just had to be consistent. That section looks like it is the one shrinking the most. A lot of this seems to line up with how much the tools have changed. Cameras are getting better, lighting is easier, and editing is faster, and the companies appear to have realized that they can get good results without big crews or trucks full of gear. From what I can tell, that pushes budgets downward and makes smaller teams more appealing. It looks like AI is another thing that's applying pressure to the same part of the industry that is already struggling. Budgets are shrinking and the middle of the industry is thinning out. And now, with certain tasks being done by software instead of a person, it's not slowing down either. Everything I looked at makes it seem like AI is moving faster than the industry can even react to, and that alone is enough to make people nervous. I don't think AI is good enough to replace me as a YouTuber or an entire film crew, but I do think it is now good enough to handle some of the grunt work that companies used to hire out for. And with tech companies more involved than ever in filmmaking, it's the direction they seem to want the industry to go. There may be a time that eventually comes where AI is doing more of the work than humans. This is a threat that isn't limited to filmmaking. It affects all aspects of filmmaking and content creation. Everything is showing me that people aren't watching less video, they're actually watching more of it than ever. They just seem to prefer it in different formats now. They just want it quicker with more variety, and they want content that is built for the platforms they use every day. It seems like the creators who can deliver clean, high-quality results without expensive setups are the ones getting the most opportunities right now because they fit what the brands appear to want. Companies still have money, they just want to spread it across multiple pieces of content instead of putting everything into one giant project. And creators who understand how to work light, work fast, and still deliver something quality seem to be the ones the brands are seeking out. The people having the hardest time right now seem to be the ones waiting for the old structure to return. The people doing well appear to be the ones who have accepted that this is how things are looking now. Just look at the younger audiences and it becomes even more obvious. They are not dreaming about Hollywood anymore. They are dreaming about building their own channels. Back in 2019, the Harris poll conducted for Lego, more kids picked YouTuber than astronaut, and in a survey of US Gen Alpha kids aged 12 to 15 by social commerce platform WAP found that nearly 1/3 want to become YouTubers. That says a lot about what they are seeing around them. They want control, they want flexibility, they want to create something without having to wait for permission. Let's look at the money. Last year, Netflix made around $39 billion. YouTube came in second at around $36 billion, and last was the global box office, which made around $30 billion. These numbers do not say creators are better than filmmakers, but they definitely show where the growth appears to be trending. Let's take a look at individual creators. Marquise Brownlee from the MKBHD channel has a net worth somewhere in the $10 to $16 million range. Linus Sebastian from Linus Tech Tips is estimated around 80 to 90 million, and Mr. Beast, depending on the source, is already over 1 billion. These are people who built everything from scratch, straight from their rooms or garages, talking to an audience that grew every year, all through YouTube. That is a very different path than Hollywood, but it is clearly one a lot of people are choosing now, myself included. I never wanted to be a filmmaker, but I grew up on directors and stories that made real impact. I absolutely respect the craft and the people who dedicate their lives to it, and it does not feel good in any kind of way seeing the industry struggle. I am not rooting for it to fail or trying to replace it. I am just calling out the way things look like they're trending. And at this point, it seems pretty clear that both worlds can exist at the same time. I hope the film industry finds its footing again, because there's room for all of this. And if things keep shifting the way they have been, there's still plenty of work on the content side of things too. The days of looking at YouTubers like part-timers or hobbyists seems like they're over. When someone can build a billion-dollar channel from scratch, well, that changes the whole conversation. The money goes straight to the creator too, not a corporation, and that opens up more paths for more talented people who want to work in this space. Production has increased and the bar for quality has gone up with it. There's a lot of good content out there and the expectations are higher. You can't start the way that Marquise or Linus started anymore. The landscape is different. But the opportunities seem bigger than ever for people who are willing to adapt to how the world is moving. I'm happy with what I do. I'm doing the job that I want to do. And honestly, I hope anyone working in film can find their place in all of this too, whether that means staying in the industry or transitioning into where the momentum seems to be going. Things are changing fast, but the demand for video isn't slowing down. The platform just seems to be shifting, and there's room for people who are willing to keep moving with it. So that's where things look like they're trending, and if being a real filmmaker means anything at all today, it probably means being able to adapt to the world as it actually is. Thanks for watching.